It's big shoes to fill at the Feinstein Institute. It has an illustrious history, and we were just honoring the people who founded the Feinstein Institute in the mid-90s. As somebody who's been working with the Feinstein Institute for the past 6 years, what I think of the Feinstein Institute as being kind of an incubator for public relations and community relations here at Providence College. We've gone from having some of the first classes that could have service learning as part of their coursework, developing rigorous goals and things like that for coursework that has service learning. And now we're really kind of pushing the edge on how to really collaborate with community and bring community into more courses here at Providence College. We got a new statement of purpose a few years ago under Rick Battistoni, who's an awesome collaborator here at Providence College when he was in the director position at Feinstein. And we're really trying to make sure that we are living out that purpose throughout all of our activities, learning how to better assess our activities, making sure that we're really meeting the needs of the students, the faculty, and the community members that we're working with. And so we're trying to kind of grow our programs, but also make sure that our programs are really meeting the ethical kind of standards that we set for ourselves. And so not necessarily new things, but really trying to live out our purpose more completely. We've been having some focus groups with students to try to learn how to better reach out to all the students across campus. I think we've done an awesome job of connecting with really students who have found us through friends and roommates and the peer network, but we need to be better at kind of reaching outside of that to make sure that we're reaching all the students and all the students know who we are and the kind of opportunities we offer. And then for faculty, we're really working on trying to make sure that all the faculty know that we have different supports for them to do, community engaged learning. So we've started broadening out the advertising for our programs for things like community advisors and trying to make them more flexible so that we can also have community consultants, so that we have different ways of bringing community members right into our classrooms and having those relationships built as part of the coursework here at PC. We also do this as part of the extracurricular, but I think Feinstein is a really awesome kind of institute in that we really help kind of make that more continuous for students. We're really excited that we're working with folks right here in Smith Hill. We have a really great staff who have really well networked within the state and the city. And I think working with the Community Advisory Board and some of the other groups here, we're really building a couple new relationships that are really exciting for me. Recently, Kyla Walters Clinton, who's a PC alumni and who is the current president of the board for The Shelter, which is a charity granting foundation that is focused on Black children in Providence. And she's really interested in thinking about philanthropy here at PC. How do we grow students to think about philanthropy as part of what they do? And I think that that really brings in the Venn diagram of PC really well, and that we're a liberal arts school, we have a business school, we have this strong public and community service major. And I think that that just brings in so many strengths that we have, and that Feinstein might have a role in helping make those happen. I think it's really exciting. I think Rhode Island really has the opportunity to be a leader among the states in kind of implementing these kinds of really collaborative efforts on climate change. I love the bill. I thought it had a lot of really excellent things in there, and it specifically calls out trying to make relationships with the higher education institutions here in Rhode Island. Again, Rhode Island has so many stellar higher education institutions within a small state, and so I think that there's really a lot of possibility for collaboration out there. We have a lot of expertise here on campus that could be helpful. We have, Thea Rio Francos, who is really focusing in on ethical change and under climate change. We've got different folks who are technical experts in the environmental effects of climate change. And we have ethicists and business people who can all kind of come together and think about how to kind of make this happen. We also have real experts in doing community research, like Nick Longo, who can really help different organizations think about how to best outreach to different communities think together with communities about what their needs are for climate change. So for me, it's kind of this really awesome, a way for me to both be a great faculty member, a great biologist, and a great, public service learning person all together. So I think that there's some great things there, a lot of overlap with the Providence report on climate justice that came from the Racial Environmental Justice Committee too. So. We recently benchmarked our greenhouse gases, and we were actually kind of surprised that we're doing fairly well, and we were really pleased about that. Obviously, with COVID, we haven't been able to prioritize sustainability over the health of our students. No one would want that. But we have a lot of great ideas going forward about how this flexibility of virtual meetings, virtual conferences, and things like that might be really exciting going forward and help reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and footprint here on campus. And thinking about these new bills, I think the thing that really came to mind for me is that we really are a local leader on stormwater management, and that's something that I think that we really could be a leader for in Smith Hill and in Providence and then the state in general. Thinking about how, companies as well as individual homeowners and things like that can think better. Not only does this help during flooding that might happen during torrential rains of climate change, but also helps reduce pests in our neighborhoods and other kinds of problems like that. So I really like the idea that we could take some of the lessons learned in our rain gardens and bioswales here on campus and maybe extend them outwards. So one of the things I'm going to be working on this summer is reaching out to different community partners and seeing if they have interest in working with us on some of these issues.